that was fun. Ah, and it's backwards. Awesome. I gotta figure out a way to get this thing up in the air. Otherwise, it's just gonna keep on whooping me. Right here, these are supposed to lock down. So what I need to do is figure out a way to rig this seat up on this so I can set the height right where I want it, and then figure out how I'm going to build something up to it off of the floor. So I think that's going to be my next plan here, is to figure out how we're going to hold this sucker up, because I can't hold it up. All right, so wrestling that seat is like wrestling an alligator. So I've kind of got an idea of, I want the seats to be between 14 and 16 inches high. And over there, I've got it kind of up where it needs to be. So I'm going to make 2 standoffs that are 5 inches out of this. I'm just going to tack it to the floor just long enough to give me an idea on where the next set needs to be. And I'll just kind of walk backwards until we get it figured out. So this is what we're going to start with. 2 of these, get them tacked to the floor. And then we'll get started and do the back 2, and then it'll give us an idea of where we're going to be on how these seats get mounted up. So we carry on. All right, I went over to the lathe and I got these built. So I need to get these ready to take them and then get the holes drilled for them and get them welded in. First thing I'm going to do is clean these up and get them welded. Ain't nothing better than brand new gloves. My wife loves me and my fingers.
You understand me. You think you have an inside point of view. You think that you command me. You think I'm gonna hate to break it to you. I don't care what you say. I'll do it anyway. Anyway, I'll do it anyway.
I got these all welded up. Now we're going to get them ground down smooth and get a hole drilled in them so we can get those studs put in.
Walking on a high line. I don't need, I'm automatic. I'm tripping on the light wire.
Alrighty. That's whenever you don't tighten up your drill bit enough. It barks at you and tries to take your fingers off. But if you got your gloves on, you get to keep all your fingers without a trip to the ER. Alright. 2 studs, 2 stands. Need to get them welded in. So I kind of know what I'm going to do here. I've got these mocked up here, there, and way over there. And I need to run a bar across to catch that one there. It's going to go on the back between those two by twos. So I think I got a pretty straightforward way to do it, but I don't have the structure underneath. I'm going to have to put some underneath to hold it up, and then I'm going to have to put some across the back. And I haven't got it in me to do it today, boys. So we'll get started on this on the next day, and we'll see you guys then. All right, guys, I got a little bit more patience to deal with this tonight. I think what we're going to do, I like the setup we have here with these standoffs here and there. Obviously, I'm going to make them look a lot nicer whenever we get them finished, but we're going to need to make these permanent, and I'm going to hook these 2 by 3 by 1/8 inch standoffs to a bar underneath of 2 by 3 by 8 that goes between the 2 connections here. So I'm going to put one here that should land in the middle of the crossbar. If not, I'll put one there and then one down there, and then that will lock this piece in on the front side. Tell you what, guys, I got a nice woman. She bought me a brand new grinder and brand new gloves. Well, these aren't really gloves, these are finger savers in my shop, so my other ones had holes in them. So thank you to my woman, she's awesome. So we got us a piece of 2x3 by however long this is, and we need an 18 and a 7 3/8. I don't know what kind of elephant snot they put on this metal when it comes from the shop to keep it from rusting, but it's high grade stuff. 17 and 3/8 one time. Love and eat no salt. So that piece is going to fit right in here. The other one's going to fit in the same hole there, and then the 16-inch piece is going to sit right there in the middle. So that's what we're going to do next. We've got these 3 pieces cut. We're going to go ahead and get our measurements, and then we'll probably start getting these welded in once we drill the holes so we know where they're at. $54 inches on center. Okay, it was 75.5. So it's 9.5 over there and 11.5 over here. So it's going to have to come this way an inch. So it needs to be 10.5 on both sides. So we'll move it over this way an inch. We know for a fact that these are in line at a foot, so we got to figure out what we're going to do with that one. It needs to come out a little bit, but it is a full-on grizzly bear messing with that thing. So here's what I think we'll do. We know that we need to be at a foot to the outside of this, this is just a little bit off. And we know we need to be at 10.5 inches. There's a 10.5 line. .5 line, and there's the center line. That's the outside line there. So we're going to drill a hole right here, which is going to be the center line of where we're going to sit that beam. It's the dullest drill bit ever. Alright, so that's going to tell us the center point of where our beam's going to run across there. We got to weld both sides, and we're going to drill a hole in the floor here, and then we'll come in and cut this out where it needs to be. So the other one's going to come this way, roughly an inch. So let's do the same thing over there. All right, 1 foot off the wall is right there. It's going to be right yonder. Do I have blood? I have blood on my... Yep. Never fails. Alright, 10.5 inches. It's going to be right yonder. Alright, so 10.5 inches on a foot. It's going to be right there. That's pretty square. really want is the center point, so we know where to weld the thing up from the bottom. I can do this without putting a hole in myself. Alright. Now we know where our center points are from underneath. So what we can do now is go underneath, line up with the center of that, weld it on either sides. We'll even put some tack welds in here and here to hold that to the floor a little better. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll get under there, and the best part about it is we can put a jack under there to hold it on this side because we've got a gas tank in the way. So I think we'll get in there and start welding. Alright guys, so this is how we're going to do them. I won't bore you with all of it, but I got this hole drilled, which is going to be the very corner of where this needs to be, and it's square. I've squared it up across, and I've got a jack holding it up because that floor did push that pan down just a little bit because there's so much weight on it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this tacked in and double check my measurements again, and then we'll be ready to get these welded up. Alright, I know it's tight quarters under here, but I think we can all see if we just give each other a little bit of room. Alright, I like it. Alright, here we go. Alright, here we go. Contact! Oh man, did I mention this little Lincoln? It's just a humdinger. Kind of a pain in the butt keeping you guys where you can see. Alright, that one's done, and it sucked. That bad boy's in there. Let's go do it 2 more times. One of my oldest and most dear friends really love my creative use of the bottle jack and the screwdriver or the 4x4. So that's got us pushed up there where we need to be. We're lined up on our hole that shows the outside of where the hole needs to be. So we're square. I've got a 45-degree magnetic corner piece up there. So we're ready to buzz this bad boy in. So buckle up, Buttercup. Well, she's welded in there nice and pretty. I had to hitchhike. I couldn't, I'm not a good enough welder upside down on thin stuff to just get after it. because I end up blowing the bottom out of it. So I have to zip, 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 zip. But they're all in there and they're all tight and they're all good. So one other thing that you guys will find when you get to the end of welding something like this all the way up, sometimes it ain't got no air to go. It'll blow air out through your weld and mess it up. But we're not gonna blame anything on that right now because I think we did pretty good. So, hi guys, let's try this again. So everything's in and welded up. We're ready to pretty much take the bolts out of this, pick it up, and then cut that out and weld it in solid. So that's what we'll do next. All right, let's talk a little bit about layout. So we're right here. I'm sorry I'm zoomed in so close, guys, but I kind of got to show you where we're at. We got our beam put in, our cross beam put in, and it's right there at the edge of that line like we thought it should be. So we need to cut a square out 10.5 inches off the side, which is right there, and then it's going to go over 2 inches and 3 inches and be 2 by 3 square. So here's a piece of 2 by 3 right here. It's about the right size. So I already squared that line up, and that's the edge of that piece. So we need to be about right there. Budget a little bit either way, but we cut that out right there. We should be able to set our piece right where it needs to be. Alright, we're ready to weld these in. I don't want to get too crazy because I want to make sure we got enough room for those studs to land all the way down here on the flat part. So when we start welding, we want to make sure we're not getting it built up too much. Alright, need to cut the middle one loose now so I can get it set where it needs to be. There she went. I think she might have had a little pressure on her. I bet that's where she needs to be right there. That is nice when they do that. Boing! Right back where they're supposed to be. So I guess we can swag it. Scientific guess it here. The whole thing's tilting back because I got it set up on that. So I don't know. I might let this thing down and it'll just fall all over me. I guess we'll find out. That middle is too high. It needs to come out towards me and then back towards the wall, and then in that hole right there. Me a favor. That's pretty damn close. Now we need 54 inches center to center is where I measured it for, 54 inches. Now that's 54 inches. So that's pretty good right there. Let's go ahead and get it buzzed in. All right, folks, we got the post mounted, the post built, and got the back of the seats mounted on those 3 pillars. So I'm really happy with where they're at. The seat seems to be in the right spot. Everything looks right. So now what we get to do is go on the back wall and build 3 brackets that are going to hold up that back seat support where it meets the back of the frame. So they need to be very beefy because it is a seat, and we are going to hook the seat belts to them. So we want to make sure that they're welded in there good and we get them in the right spot. So that's going to be the next link in the chain today. Is we've got this part done. I want to get that done, get these all welded up, and then get this seat pulled back off so we can get it off and get it sent to have the seat reupholstered. So let's get cracking. All right, we got her all lined up, cleaned up. Ain't nothing left to do but to do it. So get her all squared up here, make sure we're lined up where we need to be, and that looks really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a tack over here to kind of hold it. Yeah, we're good to go. But I am going to put a bolt on that and tighten it up because I want to see how tight it gets. I bet it gets good. Got the hot dog song stuck in my head. Every time something goes right, I start dancing around and singing. That's pretty nice, y'all. That's pretty nice. So we get them other ones in, it's going to be even better. So we're going to do that 2 more times, and I'll probably just zip you back in whenever I get the rest of it kind of lined out. So we'll see you in a minute. Well, I did a couple of things while you guys weren't looking. It got kind of frustrating, and I didn't really want to mess with the camera, but I am going to show you guys where we ended up. So as you guys can see, my arms ain't long enough for the first time in my life. We got the back seats put in the truck. So I'll kind of show you what we got done. So that's what they look like installed. We've got a little bit of room over here and the same amount of room over there. But lots of room back here. And I get some extra light for you guys. So we were able to get the pedestals put in. We got the back bars put in. Everything is square and true. I was able to get the base pieces welded on. They look really good. Now, next thing's next. I don't know if you guys know this about these seats. These Chevy seats have a hook on the back of them. And what they're designed to do is they're designed to let the seats pivot. So if you'll watch, whenever you pull this down, that seat will slide up and then back down. Well, they've got these little pivots back here, these hooks. They're supposed to slide into a groove or a bar right here. They're supposed to slide into a bar on the truck. So all these things have from the factory is just a little bar that comes up, over, and comes back. That's what we're going to put right here. I'm going to take a piece of cold roll, put it under, get the torch, and we're probably going to make it, I don't know, 2.5 inches wide. And we're going to clean this off and drill a hole in there, and then we're going to weld it into the hole. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to do it 3 times, and then that way we'll have that factory strength so that if we do have a front collision, the seat belts will hold you in the seat. The seat won't come slamming forward and fold you up like a taco. So we're going to do that next. We're going to go ahead and make these those little U-bolts. U-bolts, I don't know what you'd call them, safety straps, U-bolts. Whatever they are, we're going to make them. So here we go. All right, here's where we're at. We're going to do cold rolled steel. We're going to cut these off, and we're going to make them a little bit long so we can trim them exactly to fit. We want 2 1/4 wide with a 1 inch offset. So we're going to turn these. I don't want these to be welded. I would rather them just be bent. So we're going to use blowtorch and a cutoff wheel. We're going to cut them a little bit oversized get them bent up to where they look right, and then we'll cut them off and make them fit. So that's what we're going to do here. So we'll cut a few of these to length, and we need 3 of them. What I don't want to do is cut it too short and waste a piece. So make sure we got enough. One thing I didn't get was a pair of pliers. I don't want to be hanging on to that thing when it's hot. Alrighty, got a hole in our anvil. That's what we use to get our hole started. To get our bend started. Alrighty, so I need another glove. There we go. Alrighty, I think we got everything we need now. It's raining hot metal. Alright, there's one. Now we need 2 inches. This is going to be the fun part. Alright, we're right on the money. Just a little bit on the bent side, that's all. A little bit out of square. Worst part about this is just trying to get a hold of it. I got to get a hold of it here so I can hold it from going there. And I don't have a pair of pliers. It's worth a poo-poo. So we're going to do that and do that. All right, so we're going to hold it up and hit it down. Alright, I got it. Okay, so all we got to do is cut this off to match, and that's one. So let's do that 2 more times. Woo, that's hot. Hot, 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 hot. That's hot on my phalanges. Stand it up on the edge of that anvil and hit it down. Oh, it takes just a little bit of that. Now we got her perfectly square. I likes it. All right. When an anvil goes to pinging, you know you got it right. Two down. The anvil ain't pinging, you ain't doing it right. A lot of things in life you can say the same thing about, but we're not going to. It's a family show. Yahtzee! Yahtzee! Alright, see if we can get 2 1/4 dead nuts one more time. Be nice if we could. 3 for 3. Ooh, that's hot. Rain. Ooh, hot. Ah. Thing is whooping my booty. Alright, we got her now. Alright, so 2 1/4 is going to be up there. Back up just a whisper. There we go. Pretty close. Well, an 1/8 too long, but I ain't going to argue with an 8. Let's see if it makes a sound on that anvil. Nope, she's jumping around a little bit. See her jumping around? I mean, she's not down there flat, so you gotta heat her up, give her a little McLovin without burning her biscuits. So, yeah, that's what we do right there. Now y'all listen. Listen for that anvil to make that pinging sound. That's how you know you're done. Still jumping around pretty good. There we go. You hear her make that noise? Okay, see, look now. It's not moving at all. It's staying flat, fairly flat. Not jumping around. The anvil's making that noise. That's how you know. That is how you know. One other thing, I'll give you a free pointer. Always turn your gas off. I don't care what you're using. If you're using a torch, if you're using argon, whatever you're using, turn it off when you're not using it. Because you'll come back there and you'll have $100 worth of argon gone, or $100 worth of acetylene gone. And you're like, well, I turned it off. Well, no, you didn't. All righty, let's see what we ended up with here. Those two are the same. That one is an 1/8 inch too high. But, yeah, close enough for the girl I go with. What do you guys think? That's pretty daggone good if you ask me. Pretty close. Pretty close. We're going to get those cut. We're going to get those cut to, what I say, 1 inch. We're going to make them stand off 1 inch. So we're going to cut those off with an angle grinder 1 inch, and then we're going to weld them on there, and then that's going to take care of our seats. Seats will be done. Done. You know, I think people forget how high in the air I'm working on this daggum thing. Tell you what, I could drop a quarter and it'd take a while to hit the ground up here. So here's what we're dealing with right here. This little piece that needs to be locked in. So I'm going to mark a center line right here on all of them. I'm just going to clean off the back side of those and weld them. So, but here's what we're looking at. This is going to be like that, and this will fit just like that, and it'll allow that to slide. But then it will also provide, it'll also provide that safety feature of not letting the seat slide forward.
You think you understand me? You think you have an
Well, Only way to see if they fit is to loosen the seats up and drop them on there. I guess that's what we're going to do now. Well, good news, everybody. We've got seats now. We've got the doors in. They shut and close great. We've got the driver's and the passenger seat in, the semi seats, the air rides. They're all in, working fine. We also got the jump seats in. They both work really good. They're going to be really nice whenever we have need a little bit of extra seating. And let's not forget, we got the doors that shut. Really nice. So that's going to be the end of the video. I think the next thing you guys see is going ahead and getting the skin and the caps put on. And we'll probably start a little bit of the roof. So thanks for sticking around. If you guys get value out of these videos, please like, subscribe, and share. I know this is kind of a niche thing to be doing, but it sure is cool. So feel free to leave a comment. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
I didn't get this side here put on.